Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Tuesday, the 2nd of July 2024, and this video is going to be my 75th World First Biblical Deciphering. And in today's video, I'm going to decipher for you chapter 1 in the book of Zechariah. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually give you a bit of a brief summary regarding this chapter. I'm not going to go verse by verse on this one because it's actually a straightforward chapter, if you like. Okay, now we know if we read the book of Ezra that both Haggai and Zechariah were actually two prophets that were prophesying to the remnant of the tribe of Judah that came back, after 70 years of captivity in Babylon, if you like. Okay, and so God is commanding these prophets, if you like, especially here, Zechariah. I'm doing Zechariah chapter 1. They are actually getting these prophets to, command, the children of Israel, if you like, or this remnant that has come back from Babylon, from the tribe of Judah, to move along and rebuild the second temple. Okay. Now, of course, if you go to the book of Ezra, and I got page markers here, okay, go to the book of Ezra, okay, and you will find a lot of information, okay, and it says here on Ezra chapter 6, verse 14, and the elders of the Jews builded, okay, they're rebuilding the second temple, if you like, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai, the prophet, and Zechariah, the son of Iddo, and they built it and finished it according to the commandments of the God of Israel and according to the commandment of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. Okay, now if you go to Ezra, the book of Ezra, chapter 1, verse 2, okay, that says, Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house, in other words, a second temple at Jerusalem, on Temple Mount, if you like, which is in Judah. Okay, so yeah, just get over to the book of Ezra, and just said to you that you're gonna find all this information, regarding these prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, prophesying to Israel to, get a move on with rebuilding the second temple. Okay, so let's go back now to Zechariah chapter 1. So yeah, just a brief summary, folks. Zechariah in this chapter, if you like, actually has three visions. Okay, three visions from God. The first one is on verse 8. Okay, and he was a vision I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse. Okay, the second vision is actually on verse 18 here. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, four horns. And then the third vision is here on verse 20, and the Lord showed me four carpenters. Now, the chapter is actually very straightforward, like I said, folks. If you read the verses here, especially 12 to 16, okay, the tribe of Judah having in captivity for 70 years, and Jesus, wants them to, build his house, if you like, or rebuild the second temple. And so it's pretty straightforward. The main thing that I want to decipher for you, folks, is verses 18 to 21. Okay, now read the book of Ezra, and you're going to get a lot of information as to what was going on back then, and you will get a lot of information regarding all these verses here. Okay, but so that I don't keep this video too long, I want to decipher for you verses 18 to 21 and sort of translate what all this means. Okay, and also to give you my view and my opinion, if you like, on just a couple of things. Okay, now let us start then. Okay, just remember the context. Okay, this is the tribe of Judah, in the beginnings rebuilding the second temple. Okay, and this is the second revelation. Then, or vision, if you like. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, four horns. Okay, what can these four horns be referring to? Or ask yourself this question: is this actually a person? Yes, the four horns here is actually Jesus. Okay, and I can prove it to you by Bible prophecy. Let us go to the book of Habakkuk. Okay, if you go to the book of Habakkuk and head over to chapter 3, look what it says here on verse 4. And his brightness, this means Jesus, and his Jesus' brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Okay, so basically, the horns is referring to Jesus' power. Okay, so the horns is referring to the power of Jesus. Okay, so head over to Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 4. Okay, so now I'm proving to you that the horns refers to the power of Jesus, and he's the proof right here. Okay, so now let us go back to Zechariah here. Okay, and verse 18. Just to recap, then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, four horns. Okay, I just told you that the horns refers to the power of Jesus. Now, you might remember, folks, that uh, you know how remember how in the first temple, okay, when the Jews were doing the sacrifices uh, in the altar, okay, they had like four horns. Okay, here's another one there, like a square, and that's the other one, and that's the other one. Okay, in the altar here to burn the sacrifices, these horns represented the power of Jesus. Okay, now, and I actually did a video on this a while back. Okay, so just bear in mind that the four horns is actually representing the power of Jesus. Okay, now verse 19. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns, okay, which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Okay, so in other words, what Jesus is saying is that this is my power, this is me with my power, in which I have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Okay, so this is what the interpretation of this verse 19 is. Okay, these are the horns. In other words, this is my power. I did this. And I'm the one who has scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Okay? Now, verse 20. And the Lord showed me four carpenters. Now, this is actually the third vision in this chapter. Then said I, what can this do? And he spoke, saying, well, first of all, he's asking, who are these four carpenters, right? But then Jesus replies by saying, before he gets into the context as to who these four carpenters are, he says, these are the horns, in other words, by my power. That's what he's saying here. Okay, before he answers Zechariah, because Zechariah is asking, who are these four carpenters here? Okay, before he answers his question, Jesus is telling Zechariah, these are the horns, in other words, this is my power, which has scattered Judah. Okay, I'm the one who has scattered Judah, okay, to Babylon because, all the idolatry and sin that the tribe of Judah did, okay? So that no man did lift up his head. In other words, so that you couldn't do anything about it. Jesus said, I am the one who has used his power to scatter you, Judah, so that you couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't even lift up your head. You could not overpower me, okay? But these, meaning these carpenters here, these four carpenters, but these are come to fry them. Now, who are they? The ones that are going to fight the kingdom of Babylon are actually the Medo-Persians, okay? If you go back and read the book of Ezra, okay? So these are they that are coming to fight them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles. In other words, the Medo-Persian Empire, okay, these carpenters here, this symbolic for carpenters here, these are they who are going to take the power away of the Gentiles, in other words, the Babylonians. The horns represents power, but the Gentiles in this case is referring to the Babylonians because the tribe of Judah was in captivity in Babylon. Okay, so basically what he's saying is that these carpenters, okay, are actually the Medo-Persian Empire, okay, and these are going to overcome the Babylonians. They are going to cast them out. In other words, they are going to take the power away of them, okay, which lifted up the horn, in other words, in which these Babylonians overpower, okay, horn here, overpower the tribe of Judah and scatter them, okay. So this is what he's saying, okay. Now, I began to do a little bit of thinking about these four carpenters, okay, and I thought to myself, perhaps these are actually horns or sources of power, you know. And I said to myself, okay, we know the horns, the four horns represent Jesus, and a horn is a source of power. So, in my view, then I got a bit of a list here. I wonder if Jesus is one of the carpenters, because we know that Jesus was a carpenter, okay? And we know that Darius, Cyrus, and Artaxerxes, they were the ones that allowed, the Jewish people to rebuild the second temple, okay? So I wonder if Jesus, being represented under the four horns is actually one of the carpenters. And of course, Darius, Cyrus, and Artaxerxes, okay? According to, the Book of Ezra, if we go to, just quickly, we'll go to Ezra, okay? I've got a patch marker here, okay? Because it says here, and the elders of the Jews built it, in other words, the second temple, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai and the prophet Zechariah, the son of Iddo, and they built it and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel and according to the commandment of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes. So this could be three of the carpenters, okay? Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes being three of the carpenters, okay? Because we know that Jesus is talking about here about these four carpenters. Now, another carpenter aside from Darius, Cyrus, and Artaxerxes, I would say, symbolically speaking, because this is actually symbolic, okay, has to be Jesus because he's also a horn, a source of power. And Darius, Cyrus, and Artaxerxes, they were kings, you know. They were sources of power too. They were horns, if you like, So I wonder if these four carpenters are actually Jesus, of course, number one in the list. Darius, Cyrus, and Artaxerxes, but probably in the list I will put second Cyrus, because he was the one that got the commandment, from God. If you go back to Ezra here, Ezra, chapter 1 here, that says, Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth. He has charged me to build him a house, meaning the second temple at Jerusalem, which is in Judah, in the tribe of Judah. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say with this video, folks. That these four carpenters could well be Jesus, Cyrus, I will put him as number two. And Darius and Artaxerxes as the four symbolic carpenters. Okay. This is all I wanted to say with this video. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll talk to you guys later.